Why? Why? No. Build what? What are we building? I'm building a house here, Thomas.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? From the Brandon Churchill YouTube channel, I'm Thomas Gordon, and you're watching Hot Ones. It's the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. And with us today, at long last, we have a very special guest, Brandon Churchill. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Thomas. What's up?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to try some wings, or I'm excited to see you try some wings.
I'm super excited.
And for those of you at home, you may know Brandon from his YouTube channel and his special guest appearances on the Jen and Thomas podcast. It's good to finally have you in the studio, Brandon.
Good to be here.
Good to be here. And with that, let's get into it.
So where are we starting here?
Wing number one. Well, it's like a mirror image, so
Yeah,
we'll be
okay.
pulling as we go,
Cool.
my left to my right.
Chili maple, classic.
Mm-hmm. This is our first sauce. Nothing too hot, nothing too crazy.
Oh, sure.
Thank you. We actually make that one.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I'm gonna come back for seconds on that one.
So, Brandon, recently passing 4.5 years on YouTube, when did you realize that you wanted to be a content creator? And then is that something you always wanted to do since you were a kid?
I wouldn't say as a kid, but definitely growing up. You know, I always I filmed stuff with friends, and I edited videos that I had beforehand. And naturally, one day I was like, I have a bunch of videos, so we'll edit them together and throw them up on YouTube. If anybody watches them, cool. If not,
It's that
whatever.
easy.
It's that easy.
And that's how you get to the world famous place you are today.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Next up on our wing list here,
Oh, like habanero in there too?
no, this is a Scotch bonnet sauce.
No kidding. That's good.
A little mild for Scotch bonnets, I would say, but still pretty good nonetheless.
Maybe a little heat twang there, but not too bad. I'm hanging in there.
You know, and Brendan, I gotta say, I'm very proud of you for handling these bone-in wings. Well, mostly. Leaving a lot on the bone there for you.
I'll come back for seconds.
Okay. As someone in the beer and seltzer review space, becoming an expert in your own right, what are some common mistakes you see companies making in an attempt to be different and make themselves, ahead of the pack?
So, like the novelty flavors that they come out with, they don't need to do these crazy novelty flavors that aren't going to be good. They know they're not going to be good, but they do them anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it makes my job easier because I'm like, oh, I'm definitely trying these, and I know we're going to get a good reaction out of them. But other than that, I mean, as far as like business sense, people are going to buy those one time, they're never going to buy them ever again. I know they do them seasonally, but it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, and then what do you feel about drinks that overcomplicate themselves? I know you have a bit of a, not a passion, but almost a disdain for when they're doubling up on flavors for an unnecessary.
Yeah, so when you double up on flavors, you either cover up with the other flavor, or you don't taste it at all. It just doesn't seem like a point to me, especially if you're going in for one for a certain flavor and then you don't even taste that flavor. It's like, what are you doing here? At least make them complement each other where you can taste them evenly, so you can still taste the flavor from them.
Yeah, of course. Without flavor, then what are you doing?
Exactly.
A whole lot of nothing. All right, Brandon, and coming up on our third wing.
Oh, that's good.
It's pretty good, a little bit more heat. Yeah, Pico Rico from the socialist pigs up north.
Chinese?
No, Canada.
That was good. I really like that one.
Yeah, I really like that one too. So, Brandon, growing up as a local football star in your hometown, you left that celebrity status behind when you came and moved to St. Louis. What is it like moving from small town Illinois to one of the most historically and culturally impactful cities in the United States?
Bloomington Normal's not really that small of a city, so upscaling it a little
Small. It's got two cities into one name.
bit. Exactly. You know, you got all and then the surrounding. We basically have suburbs to the city. You know, it's just slightly increasing the volume of people and stuff, and so it's very comparable.
Well, what do you feel about St. Louis having these bigger events, slightly more of a tourist destination, more going on, more of a nightlife? Is it something you had to adapt to, or is it just you move somewhere and that's how it is?
I wouldn't say adapting necessarily. There's more benefits, I would say, to living in the city.
Like things being open past 8 o'clock.
I would argue that Bloomington had things open later than here because, of course, I moved here after the pandemic, where things aren't open as often or as late.
Well, that got everyone at home in bed early, and
Right.
Yeah. And so now, Brandon, on to our fourth wing, a particular favorite of mine. And so, Brandon, after moving to a bigger city like St. Louis, and St. Louis being a place that is no stranger to drinking and partying, what are some of the strangest things you've seen in public in this city? From Mardi Gras, St. Patrick's Day.
I don't know. Homeless people do a lot of crazy stuff, and there's a
Mhm.
lot more homeless people around here than other places I've lived, especially after the pandemic. So nothing too crazy.
Nothing too crazy. Well, let's say you're 2 times at Mardi Gras. You've seen a car
The
explode.
motor blew up and it did
Yeah.
catch on fire. Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Would you say that just besides the average drunkard stumbling through the streets?
Yeah, no, I mean pretty average. I don't know.
So nothing too crazy, but a lot of it maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm pretty versed in the crazy.
Yeah.
So maybe my crazy doesn't.
Maybe you're the crazy guy that someone else is talking about.
Maybe I'm
Very
that guy,
sure.
Thomas.
Maybe. All right, and now on to our next wing, Brandon.
Like a oil-based sauce.
Mhm.
Right? Not something I put on a wing though. I don't think. I want to take a drink, but I don't want to be publicity.
Hey, I'm going with you. Drink for drink. If you're not drinking, I'm not drinking.
I'm
If
fine.
you okay?
I'm
Just letting you know.
Really
I
like
know
the
it's
light.
looking at you.
it's tempting.
All right, and Brandon. So some may say you have the look of a generic white guy, while others compare you to such stars as Josh Allen.
Correct.
While not being quite the caliber of an NFL level quarterback, maybe you could speak to some of your own athletic achievements.
I was the captain of the Quidditch team at SIUE. We went to some pretty big tournaments, played against some pretty big schools, and
From what I understand, you don't have brooms that can fly, so how do you play Quidditch as muggles running around on some grass fields?
a dressed up piece of PVC pipe in between the legs. You got to keep it there, and you run around with that there the whole time.
Well, and then, are there still the boggarts? Are there still, how do you catch a snitch?
Well, you do have the quaffle, which is like a deflated volleyball, and you throw that through. They still have the
The
different hoops they have a base that is pretty sturdy. You got one person blocking. You got a couple people with the bludgers that you throw, and a dodgeball,
Okay.
deflated dodgeball, and they get you. You gotta get off your broom, run back to your hoops.
And then that's how you check back in?
Right.
Okay, and then is there a snitch in the game, or?
There is, and it comes out later, and it's a dude wearing all yellow with a sock with a tennis ball in it hanging from the back of his pants.
Okay.
And the seeker's got to go and try to catch it from him. And usually, that guy's pretty athletic. He can run around the whole time, no problem. Like, you can grab your broom and throw it. You gotta go get your broom, run back to the hoops. It's an intense game.
Wow, I didn't know it could be so complex.
You can also tackle in it. And I believe it was last year they instituted you could tackle with both arms. I don't know if I'm a fan of that, because that means people are going to get hurt. This is a
And
co-ed
also,
sport.
aren't you letting go of your broom to tackle 2 arms?
Not if you're good.
Okay, just squeeze it in there.
This is also a co-ed sport, so there are females playing too. And the level we were playing, those females are not very big.
Yeah.
So
Well, with
that-
the Adonis type physique you have now.
Thank you. But the having the 2-arm tackle in that level of play is kind of scary to me.
Mhm. And then also, much like Josh Allen, you both wore and wear the number 17. Maybe you can talk a little bit about your experience playing football.
No.
Okay. Well, all right then. Let's move on, Brandon.
I'm excited for this one.
Oh yeah,
Saw
me
this
too.
one
A,
sitting here.
a heavily turmeric wing, a nice color to it. Already a lot more heat, I would say.
Wow. That's got some strong flavors.
Ooh.
Good.
Yeah. Different kinds of ghost peppers, Scotch bonnet, alcohol in here apparently.
Really?
Honduran hard liquor. I don't know what kind it is, but I'd love to get the name and get it on the pod.
I'm here for it.
And I really like this one. It's a good level of kick while still having that flavor. It's not just hot, just to be hot.
Right. A lot of strong flavors going on there.
Whew. That's got some good lip burn in it, I think. Wow, these sauces must be good. Brandon's finally starting to finish his wings.
Hey man, they're good. It's a good sauce. I don't mind cleaning the wing.
Brandon, you have quite often been referred to as the DJ of your friend group, playing hits from both Linkin Park and Young Gravy. What are some songs or genres of music that maybe you're a little more embarrassed of, a guilty pleasure, that you don't normally play for the people?
Sad music. I do have a sad playlist that I do not play.
Yeah. Well, when you're trying to have a good time, you don't want the sad tunes coming out.
Yeah, when you're trying to turn up, we're not playing sad music.
Are you willing to name any bops from this sad playlist?
There's quite a bit of country on there. You'd be surprised. Me not coming from big country music background, I only recently got into it. A lot of sad country music out there.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, if you play a country song backwards, you get your dog back, you get your truck back, and you get your wife back.
We'll start doing that.
Yeah.
Also, my love songs, that one is not public on my Spotify.
No. So if something ever happened to you, it'd be lost to the ages and no one would ever know what
Correct.
sweet, sultry sounds make it into your ears.
That's right.
Well, and so anyway, Brandon, in addition to that, with Linkin Park being something that you've been a fan of for a while, and then Young Gravy being a little more recent, how would you say your music tastes have maybe changed?
Since maybe even your high school days to now.
Yeah, so initially it was more rock focused, modern rock, well, at that time. I really didn't move too far out of there, maybe a little alternative.
Yeah.
I stayed up with the pop hits just because everybody else listened to them.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you wouldn't find me buying one of those songs or listening to them on my own. As I grew up, high school, you start to get more into the pop stuff. Obviously, it's called popular for a reason. You kind of stay up on trends. Still no country at that time.
Yeah.
Still not in the country. Moving into college, getting more into the hardcore music, especially for lifting.
Oh, yeah.
Some screamo in your ears while you're deadlifting or something, you got to. And then eventually I dipped toes into country music and things like that. Classical's always kind of been in the background because I played cello.
Yeah. Just in general, I think country music gets a bad rap. There's like the country music you hear on the radio, and then that actual real deep country music.
Right, and I'm still very particular about my country music. I don't tend to go to that popular music. I have to find it myself, and it has to speak to me, and then that's kind of the country music that I like. I don't really follow what the trend is or anything.
All right, Brandon, now on to our next wing.
Interesting.
The heat's definitely there, but I'm gonna say it's a little more rounder flavor than the
Definitely
Lengua
seems-
de Fuego.
Seems turned down from that other one. That other one had a lot going on.
I think this one has like a little more heat. It's just not as sharp.
Right, that's what I mean. Thanks for giving me all flats, by the way.
Oh yeah, no problem. Well, here at the studio, we were honestly just surprised that you didn't want boneless.
Trust me, I'd catch a lot of shit for going on this. Maybe next time. That was good.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. Woo, that one's warm.
It's starting to hit.
That one is a slow build.
Heavy slow build. Holy shit.
Slow build, but the momentum of a runaway freight train. Anyway, Brandon, on this show, we have a recurring segment called Explain That Graham, where we do a deep dive on our guest's Instagram and have you explain what's going on.
Okay.
Sorry, we lost our studio laptop today.
I might go in for the beers here.
All right, I'm with you, buddy.
Here's to it.
I feel a lot better.
That's what I needed. That right there. Oh man, that's good.
All right, Brandon, and for our first picture.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a deeper understanding.
Yeah,
of
I'd like a deeper understanding. It looks like we got you in a nice blue sweater and a class ring.
Senior picture.
Jesus.
That one hit hard.
Did you do a lot of senior pictures or just one of these? Did you do your classic football?
Right.
Careful around your eyes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good call.
You don't want to get it in your eyes.
Yeah, of course. You did the football pose or just some other nice clothes. Maybe a like a rap album cover.
Oh
pose,
yeah, on the
kinda
railroad tracks.
You got posed by your first car and stuff.
Yeah. All right, Brandon, this must have been before your Quidditch days, but
Yeah. So high school football. Senior
night.
Yeah. Walked out with the parents. On
We
the
got
field.
you, we got Brandon Sr. and Brandon's mom.
Right.
And lastly, Brandon, we have you here. Care to elaborate on what we're doing here?
Drunk, cold.
Yeah, the caption says I was born in a blizzard.
Correct. Freezing rain, I think, is actually what it was. I came home in that from the hospital.
Okay, and so at first glance, I thought this was you on the beach in Florida.
Nope, snow.
But yeah, I am now seeing that this is snow. And I gotta say, Brandon, biceps are looking good. I almost see a six-pack.
Yeah, it was a deep cut coming up to a vacation we were going on. Boys trip, if you will.
Oh, okay.
Hung out in the snow in my swim trunks for the picture.
Born in the blizzard. Hopefully these wings can warm up that cold blood.
Right.
And it's really this point of the show where you really start to feel the heat in every one of your hair follicles, at least for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of regretting the flannel.
Well, you know.
And you got a jacket on.
It's a little chilly in here. Well, not so much anymore with these wings. But alright, Brandon, next up, the most intimate wing we have in our lineup today, the bomb. Smells chemical. Yeah, that's the regular reaction we get on this show.
This is just gross.
There's some rough stuff, nothing to be laughed at.
Like, I don't see what the point is.
The fans won't let us get rid of it.
It's just like toxic.
Well, it is. There, as you can see, there is the radioactive. There's a little bit of a build to this one, just a little bit of a warning. But all right, Brandon. So with the popularity of your beer and seltzer reviews, sometimes it can be good to look back at old formats and old projects. What are some things that you tried in the past but never really took off and became as successful as maybe you would have liked before the beer and seltzers became your go-to?
Yeah, my vlogs. The vlogs never really took off. But I did those back before I really had a following, and maybe that's something I should revisit and see if people do like them or like watching them. I occasionally do a trip video, which are nice. Those are sprinkled in throughout, but I liked vlogging. It's just sometimes I'm more in the moment, so I don't always capture everything.
Yeah.
So I almost need to hire somebody to follow me around with the camera.
Yeah. But so anyway, Brandon, on top of that, what are some old projects maybe besides vlogging that maybe you would like to revisit? You used to do more heat stuff, and you've gotten back into the heat game.
Yeah, so heat stuff has always kind of been there. Food challenges would be a fun one to get back into. Not just heat, but like amount.
You gonna get into the mukbang gang?
I've thought about it, but at this point, I don't know if I have anything to bring to that scene, but
Yeah.
I'm not opposed.
Okay. And then so let's say if you were given an unlimited time and budget, what kind of projects or filming, what kind of things would you like to maybe get into?
Oh, car stuff would be great.
Yeah.
Love car stuff.
Jeez.
But there's a logistical problem with that, and it's capital.
Yeah, well, hopefully this new show of yours takes off.
That'd be great.
I gotta say, this is not the hottest wing,
No.
but it is the most,
It's
chemically burning.
Sticks around a lot longer.
Yeah, it's like so. All right, Brandon. Hopefully we have a little bit of relief coming up to, cleanse our palate from the radioactive waste. On to our next wing here. Gosh.
Here we go. Okay. The heat is there immediately.
A little more heat, but also a little more flavor.
Definitely better than the last one.
Mm-hmm.
But hot.
Oh my gosh.
Shoe buddy.
Whew. So, Brandon, during your guest appearances on the hit show, the Gin and Thomas podcast, you've tried a wide variety of cocktails, going from something as simple as a scotch and soda to something as complex as a Born on the Baijiu using Chinese liquors. Has trying these different varieties of cocktails given you a new appreciation for the simplicity of a beer and a seltzer?
It's always nice to crack something open and be able to drink it as opposed to having to mix it up together.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just something about making a cocktail that you don't get out of a can.
Yeah.
I think if anything, it's given me more of appreciation for cocktails.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Something you've discussed, it's, having the mix of ingredients and an alcohol that might be rough on that first sip can be something,
Tasting really well, tasting almost healthy sometimes.
Right.
Whew, I'm sorry, that is warm.
A long-lasting burn there.
But also, Brandon, on top of getting a new appreciation for the simplicity of cracking one open and trying these other cocktails, have you ever thought about maybe your experience with these cocktails opening up to maybe new kinds of beers you would make? Like we referenced earlier, some of these beers and seltzers are getting a little too crazy and maybe not doing something more for the novelty. But do you maybe see room for beers to expand into something a little more complex than they currently are?
There's so many things out there that I haven't tried yet that it'd be hard for me to say one way or the other, but you can add from the factory something in a beer to change it up slightly, and just to make it, another product in the line that somebody that does like this could also like that, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I, for instance, love Bloody Marys, so I like those Micheladas in the cans.
Oh my gosh. Well, so anyway, Brandon, that brings us to the last swing.
What are you doing there, buddy?
Yeah. Well, it's tradition around here. We put a sauce here, the last dab. We put a little extra last dab on our wing. It's totally optional. You don't have to do it, but it is customary around here.
Why? Oh my god, what are you doing?
That's a lot.
That's way too much. I think that was a mistake on your part. Oh fuck. Crying. I might just a little water just
A little water, I'm with you. Drink for drink.
to prepare here.
Well, Brandon, as we cheers our beers, maybe we should cheers a wing here. Cheers to you.
Wow.
Yeah. We saved that one for last for a reason. Oh, gosh. I think we should kind of, I want to let the heat build up a little bit before I go into the next bit, so let's give it a second.
Why? Why? No. Build what? What are we building? We're building a house here, Thomas.
All right, Brandon. 10 wings up, 10 wings down. You've made it through the gauntlet. You've made it through the classic, da bomb, and the last dab. So I just have one last question, one last challenge for you.
Okay.
Review this beer.
I'd love to. Oh yeah. That's clean. That's crisp. There's a nice carbonation there. Not too heavy of a flavor, not too light of a flavor that you don't see it. It's there. It's delicious. This is the best light beer.
Oh, well.
You heard it here first, folks.
You heard it from the man himself, the best light beer. How would you rate it on a killing the heat scale?
It doesn't get rid of the heat, but it definitely helps. I'll tell you why. Pairs well with chicken wings. I'll tell you that.
Oh my gosh. What more can you ask for in a beer than to go well with chicken wings?
100%.
All right, Brandon. If you could look to the camera here, tell them where can they find you.
At Brandon Churchill on YouTube, Brandon_Churchill_95 on Instagram, Twitter, Brandon Churchill without the U in Churchill. I'm a little all over the place. Go check out Jen and Thomas podcast. I'm a special guest on there every once in a while. That's all I got.
Stay tuned on the Brandon Churchill YouTube channel for more content just like this and other things spanning from food challenges, spicy pepper challenges, beer and seltzer reviews. Make sure to check Brandon out on the Jen and Thomas podcast where he is a special guest and reviews cocktails every week with a host. And with that, Brandon, I think we're time to close out the show. Oh my god. Whew. I gotta get the milk.
Yeah, finish them off.
My god.
That does it right there.
What's this, skin?
1%. That's good.
You can talk a little bit about your experience playing football. Okay.
I think that'll be funny. Yeah, right there. Nah.
Hold on, I just need to grab
Oh, that clip's going in of you just like
Yeah.
contemplating life.